Okay, we're going to go through passage 2 on the digital online enhanced test, enhanced ACT. And the new enhanced ACT is really not any different on the science test other than it becomes optional than previous test. I'm going to turn on two tools. I like the answer eliminator and the highlighter. Sometimes the magnifier is good, but these are the two I almost always use. So we know this is a conflicts passage because we see students being compared. Student 1, student 2. Conflicts are always going to compare students or scientists or hypothesis. And the conflict is usually the last sentence of the first paragraph. 4 students explain iceberg calving. What is calving is when ice breaks off and forms icebergs. So we want to know what's the differences. So student 1 says it's due to warming of the air above the surface. When the air temperature increases, ice melts and water pools. So ice melts and water pools. The meltwater moves downward, causing fractures, and this causes over many summers, causes gradual iceberg calving on the ice shelf. So warming water, ice melts, creates cracks, and icebergs melts. Student 2, student 1 is correct. Okay. However, there's the key word. However, the action of meltwater alone is insufficient. Falling snow accumulation increases the pressure on the ice. Okay, so you have to have more weight, in other words, for student 2. Student 3, Antarctic shelves melt only from below. Okay, that's different than student 1 and 2. During the summer, ocean currents circulate water that is above freezing into and out of the basal cavity, the area underneath the shelf, so underneath, causing the water cavity to melt. For every 0.1 Celsius, the ocean water is above freezing. The water melts a thickness of 10 meters. So I don't need to know, I may need to know that, but I'm not going to mark it. I just want to know the reason. Melting from below by warmer water. Student 4, the warm water circulated by the ocean as described in student 3 is correct. Okay, so student 3 is correct. However, calving cannot occur from this process alone. Snow accumulates on the surface. Okay, so this is pushing down. So this is the same thing as student 2, right? It needs additional weight. So student 1 says air temperature gets warmer, melting ice, causing fractures. Student 2, yes, fractures, but we need the weight of snow. Student 3, warm water melts the ice from below. And student 4 says yes, but you also have to have it pushed down by snow. Those are pretty easy to remember. Which of the following diagrams? Here's one thing I don't like about the digital test is I can't keep these annotations from question to question. These annotations are only going to stay on item 6. Look, when I move to item 7, they're gone. When I come back to item 6, they're still there. Which of the following diagrams shows the location of the basal cavity as described by student 3? So student 3, the basal cavity, says the area underneath the ice shelf. So basal cavity, choice A is underneath the ice shelf, so it could be A. It's not there. And B, choice C shows the basal cavity on the ice shelf. And D shows it on the water, I guess. So it has to be A. We're going to try to move through questions quickly now that we understand the idea. Number 2, suppose. Okay, so suppose if Y question. This means you're going to think a bit. The air temperature is never warmer than negative 10 degrees, and the atmospheric pressure is always 1. That means, so normal atmosphere, negative 10, so water freezes at 0. Does this information support the information given by student 1? So student 1 says Antarctic shelves melt during the warming of the air above the surface of the ice. Well, water can't melt if it never gets above negative 10 degrees. So it does not support student 1. We're going to eliminate the yeses. Ice cannot melt at those temperatures, so the answer would be C. Let me go back and take some of these eliminations away for a minute. If you also knew that ice cannot melt at those temperatures, right? Ice can melt. You could take that away. Ice can melt at those temperatures. It cannot melt at those temperatures, right? It will remain ice. So that's another way. You got it down to 50-50 if nothing else. So your answer is C. Number 8, based on the description of the icebergs, do icebergs sink or float? Well, we know icebergs float. So we're going to say they don't sink. And why do they float? Because they are less dense than ocean water. So D, things that are less dense will float. More dense will sink. Number 9, which of students 1 and 4, so we have 2 students, just 1 and 4, imply the process involved in iceberg calving will take more than 1 year. Okay, so student 1 says it takes place over many summers. I remember highlighting that in our question 6 when we first highlighted. So it's at least student 1. It's not student 4 only, and it's not neither. So now let's see what student 4 says. After several winter cycles. So it says that, so both students 1 and 4. So C. Number 10, in regard to the seasons involved, how does student 2's description differ from student 3's description? So we're just looking at student 3 and we're looking at the seasons involved, right? So we look at our answers. We have summer and winter in choice A and B, and only summer, only winter. Okay, so we're going to, let's see, can I clear the highlighting on this? Nope, let's see, let's just clear. All right, so the student A say student 2 say summer and winter. So student 2 says student 1 is correct. Student 2 says student 1 is correct. The warming during summer. Okay, so summer is involved. And then this is also when the snow falls, when the temperature begins to lower in the winter. Okay, so student 2 indicates that summer and winter are both involved. Student 3 is the one that says only summer, right? Antarctic shells melt from below during the summer. Okay. Student 4 says in the winter time we get more snow, but we're not worried about student 4. So student 3 says only winter is involved. So our answer is no, not only winter, only summer is involved. Almost got that one wrong. So student 3 says only summer is involved. So A. Number 11, which of students 2, 3, and 4 agrees with student 1 that some form of melting occurs on the ice surface? Well, we know that student 2 agrees because he says student 1 is correct. So we know student 2 agrees. So we can say D is definitely out. Now do we know about student 3? Student 4 says melting and compaction of the snow is on the surface, right? That's what causes the weight. So student 4 has that happen as well. So it's going to be student 2 and 4. So C. All right, let's review our answers. Number 6 is A. Okay, 7 is C. 8 is D. 9 is C. 10 is A. 11 is C. All right, if I got any of these wrong, I'll make the video again. I think this is the slowest passage. The conflicts passage is the slowest passage of the entire test.